Hey neighbor, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and it's time for another Top 10 Countdown. Today I'm going to be taking a closer look at all of my favorite songs from the psychedelic pop and rock project from Kevin Parker known as Tame Impala. Of course, it's Kevin in the studio playing all of the instruments, the mastermind himself, but in a live setting, it is a full band featuring Cam Avery and more. I was introduced to Tame Impala shortly after the release of Lonerism, so probably late 2012, early 2013. I found the sound to be extremely captivating. The early days of Tame Impala were in line with the 60s and 70s psychedelic movement, but as we've grown in recent years along with Kevin Parker, we've gotten Currents and the Slow Rush, which are a little bit more synth-pop oriented. I hope that you enjoy this countdown. Honorable mentions can all be found in the description down below, so don't forget to check there, drop a like on the video, and subscribe for the love of music. Dip into a pool of infinite bliss with my number 10 pick, New Person, Same Old Mistakes. This is the swan song for the orgasmic wavelength that is Currents, the album that fully won me over to Tame Impala and one of my favorite records of the 2010s. This particular song gloriously ropes in all of the record's best elements, from drippy, psyched-out synths to distant, foreboding lyrics that bend both space and time. Universally speaking, Kevin Parker speaks up loud and clear from a distance with a message that captures the idea of walking in place on the treadmill of life, destined to repeat our past failures despite this constant attempt to rebuild ourselves. It's depressingly optimistic, but then again, isn't that one of Kevin's biggest calling cards in music? Around the halfway mark, his voice elevates to an even higher octave, making for an angelic intermission before slowly bringing the song back to that irresistible synth loop with some extra pizzazz to the instrumental that seriously just sets my mind on fire and makes me hungry for another listen. Like you're all fuzzed out psych rock with a Kevin Parker twist? That's Inner Speaker in a bottle, but standing tall even among giants, we have Solitude Is Bliss. The spaced out vocals get slowly more trippy as the track progresses, landing blow after blow with a cosmic solo and a brilliant foray into more psychedelic leaning waters. The bass really helps this cut hit home with its steady carving skills, making itself the perfect friend to one of the heavier, more energetic drum performances you're gonna hear on a Tame Impala track. I really love how they shudder in waves and match well with the heat I feel from Kevin's ethereal voice and insanely catchy guitar lick. It's easily one of their most instantly recognizable tunes, and I'm totally fine with how often it gets stuck in my head. Some fans haven't been crazy about Kevin guiding this project into more synth-driven territory starting with Currents, but its 5 years later companion piece, The Slow Rush, proved that he didn't always need to pick up the guitar in order to staple a song to your frontal lobe. Hands down, one of my most listened to tracks of 2020 is this one, It Might Be Time. It's not even the best song on the album, yet it's so cautiously cheery I can't keep my ears off it. The teeter-totter synths, driving drumline, and the fake-out ending all keep you on edge while boosting serotonin levels at the same time. I'm not really sure if a song about confronting a decaying relationship should sound like this much fun, but it does, so let's just not question it and let the record keep spinning. Finding your own voice despite your fear of the future was one of the biggest recurring dreams Lonerism served up, and one of the biggest highlights to be harvested from that goldmine is Apocalypse Dreams. A feeling of floating through the air carries you home on this anxiety-ridden tune that slowly carries you over a rainbow until that rainbow explodes with color by the time the song is ended. This has always been a very visual moment for me in the Tame Impala catalog. I guess that's probably pretty common given the psychedelic tendencies of Kevin's music, but it's really just easy to daydream on Apocalypse given how lush its instrumental is. Get ready to break out a disco ball for number 6, Breathe Deeper. This is a straight up magnetic banger that pulsates swagger and dominates a deep musical finesse that'll have you humming along with the snap of a finger. It's absolutely fucking incredible to me how Kevin Parker can create a steady looping rhythm and make it so intricate and entertaining the entire duration of the song. The house-influenced piano shuffles around gently on the breeze for the first 4 minutes, but then we get this stars-aligning moment where the tape seemingly switches sides and breathes a hallucinogen straight into your headspace as the cascading synth hits give breathe deeper and even stronger sense of urgency. Elephant, my first love and my first exposure, I'll love you forever, you pure kiss of nostalgic bliss. I know this is probably the song that the diehards roll their eyes at when I mention it as a jumping on point for Tame Impala, but if I'd never heard it on the radio and subsequently seen the album at my local record shop, who knows how long it would have taken for me to make that discovery? Brandishing a sludgy chugging riff and some of KP's hookiest vocals ever recorded, Elephant never sits still despite that consistent guitar riff driving the song. There's a handful of one-liners that really just jump out to you, most notably for me, he broke the mirrors off his Cadillac because he doesn't like it looking like he looks back. Why did that always hit like such a stroke of genius to me? I also can't fail to mention the fever-pitch instrumental passage right smack dab in the middle of the track. It's a huge part of why this song still ranks so high for me, since it really lets its freak flag fly proudly in the breeze while your head melts away to distant places only seen by our mind's eye. Jealousy sounds like a retro 70s synth-pop banger on Tame Impala's smash hit, The Less I Know The Better. Can we get an F in the chat for Trevor? Kevin totally broke it open with this blending of worlds, driven by an unstoppable bass groove that's among my favorites of all time. It's instantly recognizable given that it's the first thing that you hear when you put it on, but beyond that, there's this massive wave of feelings that slowly pulls you out to sea. This song works so well because it's so self-aware. He knows he's being petty and tries to simultaneously push away the notion of this girl being with another man while admitting his own insecurities, and that was probably a huge part of why things didn't work out in the first place. You've likely heard this banger even if you're not that familiar with Tame Impala, so if you dig this gorgeous instrumental that pairs up so nicely with Kevin's voice, keep digging into that discography. Crush my soul, why don't you? Holy shit. Number 3, Posthumous Forgiveness from the Slow Rush. This was an impact moment, like a meteor crashing into my skull and giving me an internal awakening about how we harbor resentment towards someone over the course of years or even decades. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's brutally honest as Kevin reminisces over his rocky relationship with his dad before eventually switching up the mood of the song and letting out that subtle emotional freedom of admitting he misses his father and just wants him to be proud of the man that he's become. While the themes are what kept me engaged, at least partially, the build-up and payoff within this 6-minute song is really the full selling point that kept me hooked from day one. The delicate guitars, the chomping bass, that eventual synth showdown that cracks the surface of the earth with that wall of noise, it's a lightning rod of a tune, all leading to a relaxing exitlude that's much more optimistic in nature than you'd probably expect, as Kevin's point of view gets more mature as he learns to forgive the past. 7 Minutes in Heaven arrive at number 2 on Let It Happen, another pick from the landmark 2015 record Currents. If I ever had any doubt going into this record cold, this song body slammed them right out of me because this is one of the best songs to ever fill the airwaves. Pinning down a specific direction without ever really committing to just one angle is this track's motif. A pure adrenaline rush for the senses that never hits a roadblock, never gets stuck in traffic, just a humdinger that draws heavily on psychedelics as it rocks you back and forth like watching a pocket watch dingle before your eyes as you slowly become hypnotized. Laser point synths that never miss the mark, cooing vocals that ride a high tide of emotion, and a grand finale guitar solo that feels like pulling a ripcord out of thin air only to vanish like the beautifully evasive ghost that is. Trust me, you want this in your life, and if you don't, it's fine, you know? It's okay. We just can't be friends anymore and I want my Xbox back.
They say people never change, but that's bullshit. They do. Yes, I'm changing. Can stop them now. Even if I wanted, I wouldn't know how.
My number one pick here should indeed let you know that this is not a popularity contest, considering this is what I believe to be the most underrated song on Currents. Some of you actually may have seen this coming. You ever throw on one of my videos and you just hear this start up in the background? That, my friends, is the holy vessel, Yes, I'm Changing. A painfully beautiful look in the mirror at yourself and at other people as they grow apart with time. In fact, the very concept of time is a huge part of Kevin's later works, and this particular gem feels like a turning point in life. A fork in the road with no clear sign as to which direction you should go. The bass lick is smooth as butter, swimming gracefully alongside the twinkling keyboard magic that propels Kevin's striking commentary on see-through people that can't admit the change within themselves. At least that's how I've always kind of interpreted it, and it's not like the narrator is denying that he himself is changing too. In fact, he sees it as a good thing that will eventually lead to happiness. I really love that you can hear cars and background noise in the back half of the song after Kevin drops off that message of hope. There's a world out there and it's calling my name, and it's calling yours too, girl. It just adds an extra layer of authenticity here among those Vampire Weekend-esque keys that flutter so nicely as the track slowly floats to its final destination. With that destination, of course, being pure bliss and ecstasy. That brings us to a close of my top 10 favorite Tame Impala songs. Let me know what you thought of my list in the comments section down below. Don't forget to check out the honorable mentions. Those can all be found in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for the love of music. If you want to see me review the Slow Rush, then tap this card over here, or tap here for another recent video. All of my socials can be found in the description down below, and I will see you soon for more right here on ARTV.